Saris SuperClamp EX 2 bike plus cargo requires some assembly. You'll need a few tools to get this done: a 6mm hex key, 8mm hex key, a 17mm socket wrench, and a 19mm socket wrench. The 2 hex keys are included. To get started, determine your hitch size. This rack will only work with 2-inch hitch receivers. Since we'll be building the rack off the back of the vehicle, we'll start by installing the rack's receiver spine into the vehicle's hitch. Take the rack receiver spine and insert the hitch tight bracket into the tube, lining the hitch tight's nut with the hole on the driver's side of the tube. Insert receiver spine into the vehicle's hitch and secure with the included threaded hitch pin. The hitch pin should enter from the driver's side of the vehicle. Be sure the lock washer is on the hitch pin prior to inserting. Tighten with a 19mm socket wrench. Install lock head onto hitch pin on the passenger's side. Then install the Save My Spot sticker. This will make lining up the hitch pin holes easier the next time you install the rack. Now we'll install the cargo tray. First, place the bracket plate on the front of the cargo tray center tube and insert 8mm bolts. Then take the cargo tray while holding the bolts and plate on the tray and line up the center tube of the cargo tray with the bracket closest to the vehicle on the receiver spine. Make sure the cutout in the cargo tray is facing towards the vehicle. Thread nuts on and tighten using 17mm socket wrench and 8mm hex key. Install the 75mm long 6mm bolts on the lower side of the cargo tray's front bracket and install backing plate under the receiver spine and secure with nuts. Tighten using a 17mm socket wrench and 6mm hex key. We recommend 15 foot-pounds of torque. Next, take the SuperClamp EX bar with pre-installed bike wheel trays and arms. Remove the rubber tips from the 60mm bolts. Insert through the holes in the receiver bar's front plate. Then secure with nuts using a 17mm socket wrench and an 8mm hex key. Finally, install the wheel trays onto the SuperClamp bar. Slide on outer B wheel trays. Wheel trays with reflectors installed go on the passenger side of the vehicle facing out. Tighten with gray knob until wheel tray is secure. Now that the rack is assembled, let's load it up. For loading the cargo tray, be sure the cargo weight is centered on the cargo platform when loading. Cargo straps are not included. You are responsible for providing straps and properly securing cargo to the platform. The maximum capacity of the cargo tray is 120 pounds. To load bikes onto the SuperClamp, first open arms. Do this by pressing and holding the button on top of the arms while lifting the arms to a fully open position. Then push and hold button on top of the hook to slide the hook up. Load the heaviest bike closest to the vehicle. The front wheel should go in the outermost B tray. The rear wheel will go in the A tray. To get the proper fit, slide the A tray until the rear wheel is centered in the tray. Tighten knob to secure the tray in place. Next, use the SuperClamp arms to secure the bike in place. Position the arms so the shepherd hooks are at 10 and 2 on the bicycle wheels without contacting bike components. Press hooks down onto tires. Once the hook contacts the tire, press the hook down until you hear one additional click. Secure front and rear wheel with wheel straps and pull tight. Ensure the tires are properly inflated and in good condition. Now that the bikes are installed, let's lock the bikes to the rack. At the end of the horizontal rack bar, press and hold the gray button while pulling out lock cable. Route lock cable through bike frame and insert into center lock plate. Turn the key to the lock position to lock the cables. Each bike has its own lock cable. To return cable, press and hold down gray button while feeding cable back into the lock bar. For hatch access with bikes and cargo installed, remove the pin with lanyard at the base of the rack. Press handle at the end of the rack to tilt away from the vehicle. Be sure to support the weight of the rack while tilting away. To bring rack back to transport position, lift up on rack until you hear an audible click. Reinstall pin with lanyard at the base of the rack. When the rack is empty of bikes and/or cargo, the rack can be folded up for storage or transport. To do this, push the handle at the end of the rack and fold the rack up until you hear an audible click. Now you're ready to roll with your new SuperClamp EX2 bike plus cargo.